not so much a game where you're slugging each other out. This one's more of a dance.
All right, so I had no idea what's going on in this draft. There's 3 Icelanders, which makes no sense to me. I'm telling you, I walked around this table, I looked at the pile of carts, and players just didn't have Icelander carts. So I think players just shifted so late because things train wrecked so early. I think that it's possible that this is out of pod.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I think this one's out of pod with the records that we're seeing here.
I thought I was going insane for a second there. So
I wanted to look. I was trying to, I was going to let you go down the rabbit hole. The existential dread crept in a little bit, and then I needed to pull you back.
Yeah, where would it be if I just wasn't horribly mistaken? And I love to kick off every round with just an absolute travesty of errors.
Also, I gotta say, look at Ryan Rich's Icelander over here. That is a very nice Icelander over there.
Mm-hmm. Got that shiny Icelander ready to go.
Signed by the artist as well. It is a gorgeous card.
Yeah, I have that the old Icelander, the promo from winning Nationals. One of my favorite cards.
Looks like we're going to have a Helix Miter get activated a bajillion times here this turn.
Yeah, heavy defense on that Ether Ice Vein. Makes sense. Just invest your whole hand.
Also, I really approve of the sleeves from Ryan Rich as well.
Well, you see Bryce already down on options defensively. Spell Fire Cloak on the side of Ryan Rich, and that's a big difference maker in this matchup.
That's the most important card, I think, in the matchup in the mirror. Yeah.
Absolutely. And you have to think Ryan Rich a large favorite in this scenario. Yeah,
the Cloak, just such a good card in the mirror for multiple reasons. AB, very important. The extra resource could be huge. And is this a healing bomb? I think this is a red healing bomb.
It is, yeah, and I think this is a totally fine play when you're playing to play on your opponent's turn. Just go ahead, get that life. See if they want to do anything. You have defensive options here.
It does look like we're going to have a blue get fired off from the arsenal here by Ryan Rich. This is coming in for 1.
Yeah, and the pace of this match is going to be very different than the pace we saw when we were looking at the classic constructed Icelander mirror.
Go ahead and pitch a yellow here to activate the wand for 3 here. So he's like, all right, look, don't even worry about the life change. We'll negate the bomb here. It looks like Brain Freeze is going to be pitched here to activate the wand on Bryce's turn, but that's only going to come in for 2 since it's during his turn. We'll try to keep up with that as much as possible because that can get a little confusing at times in this mirror.
Absolutely.
Arsenal and pass from Bryce, or back over to Ryan. Brother at Arms getting pitched here, one of my favorites. To an Aether Hail for 4. 2 resources floating here. Very well constructed turn from Ryan here. That's a blue card left over his hand. This is the perfect hand.
Yeah, exactly how you want to set up. And you're going to get this Waning Moon activation. And we know no AB left on the side of Bryce. So just going to go ahead and force this damage through. And like we said, this is going to have a very different slant to it than the constructed mirror where you're dealing with AB5 sometimes. Most of this damage is going to go unchecked. And it does become a little bit of a race here.
No giant generic attacks, or not as many. We do see a Brother at Arms here, but when your opponent doesn't have AB and you've got a chance to throw some at them, you should probably be picking that over attacking.
Yeah. Unpreventable damage, better than preventable damage.
Expert analysis from Brian Gottlieb.
That's what they pay me for.
That's what they pay the medium bucks for.
A little singed action here. Just going to fire that off. Main benefit here is it allows you a nice Waning Moon activation.
And with those floating resources, Ryan's going to go ahead and spin the 1 because I think this is a blue singe, and so it's only going to deal 1 damage to Ryan. He's going to pick that off with the AB. This is an activation of the Waning Moon. The other resource is going to prevent 1 of that as well.
And you see just what a difference just 1 Arcane Barrier makes. It's why I do think Spellfire Cloak is the most important card you can have in this mirror matchup. It completely changes the texture of the game.
Yeah, and you're going to see the texture of the game. What you're kind of alluding to here is it's so important is, yeah, Ryan had 2 resources floating here and could have activated Waning Moon instead, right? But the thing is, he's only going to get so many opportunities to use those resources to, quote-unquote, gain life in this matchup to prevent damage. And since he has AB and his opponent does not, you're so incentivized, and it's such a better play to just be preventing the damage because the point is, if you have equal hands for the rest of the game and you're both throwing the same amount of damage to each other, the player with AB is going to win pretty easily from there.
Absolutely. Makes sense to me. Now we're back to Ryan's turn with a full grip for Ryan. Going to go ahead, deploy that Ether Ice Vein, and it's fused. Super powered, 5 arcane damage, completely unpreventable with a trigger attached to it.
This is going to hit, and this is going to get a card from Bryce as well.
I say unpreventable. There could theoretically be Oasis Respite, something along those lines, but
Even then, it'll be able to prevent 4 of it at the max. Does look like Healing Bomb's going to get pitched here for blue. It looks like we're going to have something in response.
Yeah, deploying that Weather Vane. Follow up Waning Moon.
So does Ryan want to prevent any of this? He showed a proclivity to do so. But it does look like he's going to take this down to 8. Life total is technically tied right now. It's 13 to 8, but there's a 5 damage spell on the stack for Ryan here.
Yep. I also think analyzing them as tied does a disservice to the availability of Arcane Barrier over on Ryan's side. Can't state enough how much of a difference that's going to make as we come down the stretch here.
Bryce really thinking about what card he wants to discard here. Looks like he's got a wizard card and possibly some generics in his hand. Does look like the wizard card is going to go away, though. Oh, he's going to go ahead and pitch this. Okay. Maybe quell 1 of the damage here. This looks like he's going to go down to 9 here, discard the card. Is that a
Vipox?
Is that a Vipox? Yeah, I was going to say.
Yep.
Don't see that one too often. Waning Moon activation is going to put Bryce down to 8.
Yeah, it has the quell available, but now we're all out of equipment. And that is a vulnerable spot to be in.
I call this, he's naked and afraid.
Yeah, very much so. Ryan drawing back up.
I think I might have seen a blue Aether Hail in the arsenal there.
I believe you're correct.
Well, I assume that it's blue, but...
Yeah, anything else you would assume Ryan will work pretty hard to go ahead and move that out of arsenal. Now, I think we're on Ryan's turn now? Question mark? Or maybe we're about to move to Ryan's turn.
It might be moving to Arsenal here for Bryce.
Yeah.
I think he might still have those 2 cards left over from earlier. Ryan really taking his time here. Don't want to get this wrong. He's at 7-2. You know, 8-2 is a great record. You still have that top 8 aspirations well in sight. It's a big match for Bryce as well. Dropping down 6-4, put his back against the wall.
Yeah, really needs to find a way to pull out a win from a pretty tough situation.
Was a blue Aether Hail. This is going to deal 1 to Bryce.
That's an Aether Dart.
Aether Dart, I apologize.
Yeah, no Frostbite coming with that. Just the damage. I say just the damage, but...
Bryce is down to 4 with no way to stop damage from Ryan. This is a scary spot to be in.
Very tough spot. However, looking at Ryan's hand, I don't see anything that screams huge damage potential. Oh, never mind. Okay, we'll just Ice Bolt.
Yeah, we'll just Ice Bolt for 5.
Yeah, 5 headed your way.
And I was about to say, I don't think Bryce has any way to stop this.
I don't think so either, and you're seeing the value of Arcane Barrier here. What do we have in Arsenal? Okay, we have a blue Sigil. Yeah, blue Sigil is the play. Waning Moon going to go ahead and blast that Sigil out of the way, and that is going to get the fist bump. And Ice Bolt's going to go ahead and take down Bryce and move Ryan Rich to